Hello YouTube. I figured I'd show my showpiece off. That's all it's good for. It just sits in the driveway for looks, along with this one actually, but this isn't my car. Today we are going to be adding a lambda sensor and trying to get the wideband sensor to work, doing hood latches, and flashing on a tune made for the PIMAS MAF and for these Porsche injectors, because currently it has a factory tune on it, so the injector and MAF data is totally wrong for this setup, and this car really doesn't even idle. So along with that, the battery is completely dead. It just goes along with the whole theme of this car, and if I can get it to idle, I can actually allow this alternator to charge a battery, which would be sweet because this is super annoying. I'm going to start with some easy stuff today, and that is fixing these latches so I can actually go get logs of the car, because I would hate to have the windshield get shattered by this hood, and it wouldn't even be my fault because the car showed up like this. I'm just glad I noticed this. And ignore the self-tapper here. I guess you M3 bumper lovers, you know, your clean builds, I guess you guys just use self-tappers on these things, or I don't know what's going on here. It's pretty terrible. But I found some factory hardware for these latches, and I went to install them. And to the people that are wanting to buy a CX racing kit, I hope I am helping you guys a lot, because as you can see, this doesn't even work anymore. You can't even mount this. This is why this was removed, so they could mount the intercooler, but I don't know what their plans were if they couldn't mount the latch. So I think an intercooler is less important than, you know, eating glass. I can't really show you, but it's in the way. I can get it really close. Well, maybe not like that, so it fits around it. That's what they intended, I guess, but it's a mile off. So I'm gonna have to modify this and take this all off. Sweet. All right, guys, I'm actually making it somewhere, feeling pretty good about this. I have both hinges in. I had to trim this brace just a tad back here. Don't go too much, because it's already thin and you kind of want a little bit of structure there. There's supposed to be two bottom brackets. They're non-existent, so I don't know what's going on there. And I noticed the intercooler is all messed up. Looks like someone dropped the car on something or dropped the intercooler, who knows. I also fixed a lot under here. I got these tight. I added an engine mount nut and I tightened that up. And I think that's everything. I had to rotate this AN fitting a little bit. Ignore that JB weld. I don't really know what's going on there, because this drain was actually up against the turbo manifold, but there's clearance there now. And then someone mentioned in my video that if this touches the drain, it's gonna melt it. Well, this is super high temp, and it's not touching the drain anywhere. I may just zip tie it out of the way somewhere, but it's routed pretty good as of right now, so that's no worry. All right, I fixed the broken stud on the valve cover gasket. Luckily, if you guys don't know, these can come off without taking the valve cover off. You just use a 10 mil on them. They do break over time, or if you over torque them. And there is a working lambda sensor now, I'm pretty sure. And then there's a working wideband sensor. The wideband sensor, the reason it didn't work last video is I don't think the car was even running within range for it to read. So I'm about to throw a tune on it here. The key's in the car. I got my input cable hooked up. They're like 20 bucks on Amazon. I've had mine forever now. And I use the B-Racing remote flasher. Just hit up Jules at B-Racing on his website, bracingtuning.com, or you can go to his Facebook profile. I should have the links down in the description, and you can get this flasher from him. The reason it's better than the others is you can actually do MS41 on these, MS42, MS43. This car is MS42, and right now I'm actually flashing a full right file on the car. The reason I have to do a full right is because I don't know if this car has EWS delete and such. Once I get this tune on there, everything else will be partial, and it takes about 10 seconds to flash on a partial. So you can just hit him up, and this tune is from him. He just made it for me, and let's see if this car will finally start. Tune is on. This is the first attempt to start this thing. Fingers crossed. Make sure we're neutral here. Easy as that. So now from here, we can start doing some flashing, and I can start sending him logs back and forth until we get this thing right. Running real smooth. Now that it's idled for about 30 seconds or more, it should be adapted. When you reset adaptions, you want it to readapt, or you give it time to readapt when you first start the car after a flash. Yeah, this is awesome.